Hello, my name is Isabel Betancourt, and today I'm going to be speaking about school shootings, what I consider to be an American crisis. Guns are the leading cause of death among American children and teens. 1 out of 10 gun deaths are aged 10 and younger. What does that say about us? Since 1970, there has been about 2,052 school shootings in the United States, and the number is rising. And it keeps on rising, and nothing seems to be changing. No change is being promised. Nothing is being promised to our younger generations, and we're just showing them that this is okay. We're showing them that this is the normal in America, when it shouldn't be. This shouldn't be the normal, and it shouldn't be what we're showing these kids, and people should be safe at school. We should not feel afraid to be at school. Since the Sandy Hook tragedy, in December of 2012, there has been 918 school shootings as quoted by the Sandy Hook Promise blog. Initiative needs to be taken to raise more awareness and precautions on gun violence and school shootings in America to reduce drastic numbers and initiate change. As this slide next to me is going to show, there has been 288 shootings in the United States since 2009. And if we compare those numbers to other countries around the world, it is a lot higher. It is insanely high to be just one country, considering we are one of the leading countries in the world, and this is the example we're setting for the rest of the world. At least one loaded pistol is kept in the home of an estimated 4.6 American youngsters. School shootings, suicides, and the deaths of family members, including infants and toddlers, have all been linked to carelessly stored guns. And this is quoted as well by the Sandy Hook Promise. And what it is that saying is how accessible guns are to us, how easy it is for me to go to a store and simply buy a gun, and I can keep it in my house, and it is so easy to just have that weapon with me. Most of these school shootings that have taken place have been by people that have these guns kept in their homes. Most of these people, these guns are from family members, guns that they keep in their own homes, and it is so accessible to them that they're able to then go and simply commit these heinous crimes. And it is that easy to simply get a gun, and that is why we need to raise awareness and emphasis on how easy it is to get a gun and how that needs to change, and politicians need to change that legislation, and we need to start making that change for our kids in school and make sure that it isn't as easy to get a gun as it is right now. School shootings that have taken place in recent years, we have Columbine, which took place in 1999, Parkland, which took place fairly recently in 2018, Sandy Hook in 2012, El Paso in 2019, and Uvalde, which just happened quite literally about 2 weeks ago. If I can go back and reference a school shooting, I remember vividly Parkland. It was on my birthday, and I know I was going through the emotions of it and how terrible it was to hear all these families that were in pain and in suffering. And I knew that I wanted to make a difference. I knew that I wanted to be part of change because it was important to me, and it was important to me to make sure that my voice was being heard. Being a student, I was scared to go to school. It was always one of my biggest fears back then, to go to school and there be a school shooting. So there was this club that was called Students Demand Action, which is an organization that's in Miami, and it aids in stopping gun violence in America. And it is so important to me that I was part of this organization, and I was able to be that voice for other people and make sure our voice was being heard, that gun control needs to come, and it needs to help stop the violence. I remember following this teacher called Brittany, and she is a lifestyle blogger, and she constantly talks about her experience with Parkland and how it impacted her and how it's impacted her since. And I think it's important to know how detrimental these things are to us, and how much it affected her being there, and how much it affected me, and it wasn't even my school, it wasn't even my children. And she's an activist and an advocate for gun violence and making sure that change happens, because it needs to happen. As previously stated, the facts and testaments have only shown and proven that America has a severe gun problem. And it continues to affect our schools nationwide with these terrible mass shootings. And that has come to show time and time again. And here we are, 2 weeks ago, where we had the Uvalde shooting. And it just comes to show that initiative needs to happen, and change needs to happen, and we need to keep moving forward. And we know the issue, but we need to address the problem. In past years, America has seen more shootings than any other country. In comparison to other countries, our gun reform laws are outdated and initiative must be taken. We have seen accounts from students, teachers, parents, and how our system time and time again has continued to fail us. Change begins now. We cannot wait for another tragedy to happen to spark this conversation once more and then let it die again. The time is now, and we are the voice of change. Our schools need to put an end to this epidemic of school shootings and gun violence. Thank you.